Why look within is the timeless path to true awakening across centuries and cultures, from east to west. Feed the root, not the branch. Tao Te Ching Chapter 12, a gentle reflection for inner stillness. Dear seekers, have you noticed how the modern world endlessly invents new ways to pull our attention outward? Brighter colors, louder sounds, stronger flavors, infinite screens to scroll. A constant chase for something more, yet never enough. This is the quiet tragedy of modern life. The more we reach outward, the more restless and empty we feel within. Across centuries and cultures, from east to west, nearly every ancient wisdom tradition has echoed the same truth. If you wish to elevate your spirit and awaken true wisdom, you must turn inward, not outward. The Vedas remind us, the self is hidden in the heart of every creature. The Buddha taught, be a light unto yourself. Rumi wrote, why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? And the early Christian mystics spoke of the kingdom of heaven within. Why this universal insistence on looking within? Because outward seeking traps us in illusions. We chase fleeting pleasures, shifting opinions, and endless possessions. Yet the hunger remains. The more we look outside for answers, the further we drift from the source of life and clarity. Within, however, lies a silent treasury untouched by the world's noise. Here, in the quiet depths of our own awareness, true transformation begins. When we turn the light inward, we start to see what is real, what is false, and what is eternal. No matter how dazzling the outer world appears, without knowing the self, we remain restless and incomplete. To look within is not to reject the world, but to discover the source from which all true understanding flows, the wellspring of wisdom, peace, and freedom. So if you truly wish to awaken, remember the lesson whispered by the sages. The door opens inward. Look within, the timeless path to true awakening. More than 2,000 years ago, the ancient sage Laozi saw this pattern clearly, and left us a timeless reminder that true fulfillment lives within. In this video, let's explore more deeply how Laozi guides us on this inward path, and how his wisdom can still illuminate our hearts today. If this teaching resonates with you, if you feel ready to turn inward and truly explore yourself, subscribe and join me on this quiet path within. In Chapter 12 of the Tao Te Ching, he writes, the 5 colors blind the eye, the 5 tones deafen the ear, the 5 flavors dull the taste. Racing, hunting, and chasing excite the mind to madness. Rare goods ensnare and confuse the heart. These lines teach us, colors crowd the vision, leaving it unclear. Sounds compete for the ear, leaving it weary. Flavors overwhelm the mouth, dulling true taste. Chasing and hunting excite the mind to frenzy. Rare goods entangle the heart in craving and deceit. These words are not just ancient poetry, they are a mirror for our modern lives. When we indulge the senses endlessly, our spirit scatters like leaves in a storm. When the mind rushes out, chasing every new thing, it loses touch with its true root. We live surrounded by distractions. Screens glowing with endless images, music filling every silence, flavors engineered to overwhelm our senses. We run after more experiences, more possessions, more recognition, until we forget who we really are. Laozi reminds us, too much stimulation blinds us to the simple truth within. When the senses are constantly fed, the spirit is starved. When desire drives us outward, the root withers. Imagine your spirit as a calm, clear pond. Every bright color you chase, every loud sound you cling to, every craving you feed, are like stones dropped into that pond. The more stones you drop, the more ripples there are, until the water is never still enough to reflect the sky. In the same way, our scattered senses make it impossible to see our true nature. True vision is not found in bright lights. True hearing is not found in endless noise. True taste is not found in the richest flavors. So Laozi says, "The wise keep to the simple. Feed the root, not the branch. They nourish the inner, and turn from the outer's excess." This line holds a secret for anyone walking the spiritual path. To feed the root is to guard the spirit, your authentic self and its boundless potential. It means to nourish your true essence, gather what has been scattered, and turn inward once more. This is the sacred return, a return to the source, to wholeness, to the Tao. To not feed the branch is to stop pouring your life's energy into things that grow outward yet bear no true fruit, only illusions and the restless cravings of the ego. Think of a tree. If you water only the leaves and branches but neglect the roots underground, the tree withers, no matter how green it seems at first. The same is true for us. When we pour all our energy into the senses, chasing excitement, indulgence, distraction, the root dries up. The problem of feeding the branch. Most people pour their energy into the branches, into pursuits that look impressive but bear no real fruit. They chase wealth, status, pleasure, and endless novelty. They decorate the tree of their life with many leaves, but the root, the spirit, the source, remains neglected. A branch without a healthy root cannot flourish for long. The Taoist path is a gentle warning. When we neglect the root, life becomes hollow. The mind grows restless, the heart confused, and true peace slips away. Turning inward, the way back to the source. So what is the remedy? Feed the root, not the branch. To feed the root is to guard the spirit, your authentic self, your original nature before the world's noise and demands took hold. It means tending the inner flame rather than feeding the outward fires of craving. Practically, this means simplifying. Limit excess stimulation. Be mindful of what you see, hear, eat, and chase. Choose what nourishes, not just what excites. Gather what has been scattered. When you feed the root, you gather back what has been scattered. Your attention stops leaking into every shiny distraction. Your mind grows less fragmented, your heart lighter. This is what Laozi calls returning. Returning is not about going somewhere new. It is about coming home to what has always been here, your unconditioned essence. The sacred return. In a life ruled by the senses alone, we become slaves to fleeting pleasures and passing pains. But the Tao is ever present beneath the surface, like water beneath dry earth. To touch it again, we must quiet the senses, not by force but by understanding their limits. Close your eyes and see with inner vision. Silence your ears and hear the unspoken truth. Still your mind and discover the spacious clarity within. When we stop pouring our life force into illusions, it returns to the source. Energy flows inward. Spirit is strengthened. Life becomes simple, true, and whole. The wise cultivate the root, the spirit, the true nature within. They guard their senses with gentle care, never clinging to every passing pleasure. Instead, they protect the source of life, tending the inner flame so it burns clear and steady. You don't need to shut your eyes forever or plug your ears to the world. You simply need to watch your senses, to know when enough is enough. When you eat, taste simply. When you look, see clearly but without grasping. When you listen, hear the silence behind the sound. This is spiritual cultivation, not fleeing the world but dwelling calmly at its center. When the eyes are clear but not greedy, when the ears are open but not craving noise, when the tongue is satisfied with plainness, when the mind is calm, not chasing every thrill, the spirit returns home. In this quiet turning inward, we find a simple truth. You don't need to chase fulfillment. You are the fulfillment. You only need to remember. It is already here within you, in the root. So next time you feel scattered, overwhelmed by the bright lights and endless noise, pause. Turn the light around. Return to the root. Feel your breath. Feel your own presence, deeper than thought. Let the senses rest. Let the spirit gather. Summary. Laozi's words are not ancient riddles. They are living guidance for a noisy world. Feed the root, not the branch. Nourish the inner and let go of excess. Turn away from what scatters you, and return to what holds you whole. May you find the courage to turn inward, the wisdom to live simply, and the trust to know that what you seek is already within you. Rest in the root. Let the branches fall away. In simplicity, find the way. If this reflection touched you, share it with someone who longs for stillness. Subscribe for more Taoist wisdom to guide your journey home, to your own root. Thank you for being here.